Gilbert goes through a violent coughing fit and dies of what seems to be cholera. The wagon train's leaders Billy and Arthur help Alice bury him after they ask her if she wants to keep traveling with them or she'll go back home. Realizing she has nothing to return to, Alice accepts to stay with them to find her luck in Oregon. The next day, Alice receives more bad news. The boy Gilbert hired to lead their wagon claims he was promised a wage of $400 and expects the first half to be paid when they reach the halfway point. Alice doesn't have money, and if her brother did have any, it was left in his coat, which is now buried with him. It's too far away to go back now, so Alice asks Arthur and Billy for advice, and the men point out the wage is insane, definitely higher than usual. Alice thinks it's Gilbert's fault for being an awful businessman, but Billy thinks the boy may be lying, thus he advises her to ignore him for now, and when they make it to the halfway point, he'll try to scare him into confessing the truth. Since President Pierce keeps being complained about and Alice doesn't want to take responsibility for him because he's not hers, Gilbert also helps hers to get rid of the dog by taking him to the middle of the valley and scaring him off with a shot at the sky. The trip continues without any trouble, and Alice and Billy get to share some time together, discovering they agree on many philosophies. When the hired boy asks for confirmation of his pay, Billy tries to talk to him and fails, so he offers Alice an alternative. Since he's been thinking about retiring from the wagon train for a while now, he asks Alice to marry him. That way he can assume Gilbert's dead and build a home with a proper family. Alice is quite shocked to hear this, but she's grown fond of Billy too and accepts the proposal. A few days later, Arthur worries about fresh footprints found in the area and checks on his travelers only to discover Alice is missing. It turns out she heard President Pierce nearby and went to watch him bark at some prairie dogs, leaving the wagon train further than she realized. Arthur finds her and tries to bring her back as quickly as possible, but sadly they aren't fast enough and they get ambushed by a Native American party. Since he has two weapons, Arthur uses one to defend himself and gives the other to Alice, urging her to end things for herself if he gets killed because death is preferable to be captured by the natives, who would put her through terrible painful punishments. Arthur is actually quite a skilled gunman and manages to scare the natives away with precise shots.